would like to call this meeting of the Board of Historical Architecture, because I heard that's how it's actually really written down, to order, and we need to do a roll call. I'll start with you, ma'am.
Penny Roberts.
Penny Roberts, Amy Denny.
Tammy Putney.
Barbara Hartley. Great. And we are missing one, but we have a quorum, so that is good. And present with us this evening are Christopher and Crystal Riddick. They are the applicants. We are looking at their wish to build an addition to the existing residence, and they wish to put a 12 by 24 foot shed on property, and it will be running along the fence that's there now, right? There's all fence between the two properties. Okay. Why don't we have him? Oh, would you? Yeah. Are we ready to let Mr. Riddick come up, or do you want to come up?
I come up.
Yeah, I thought you wanted.
Did you have to open the public hearing?
Yeah.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a public hearing held with the authority of 15.2.2204, Code of Virginia 1950 is amended. The matter is Certificate of Appropriateness 01 for the calendar year 2025. The location is 200 Watling Street, Urbanna, and it's noted property owner Christopher S. and Crystal D. Reddick. Also, the applicants are present. The request is the construction of an addition to an existing residence and construction of a 12 by 24 shed. Both structures painted Benjamin Moore buckskin blue, HC 149, Danube 2062-30, accents and white trim, and you have the sample before you. The tax map number is 20A, 175A, the zoning district is 1. The overlay district is obviously the historic district as well as the Chesapeake Bay Preservation District. The use is residential rental. The adjacent uses are residential. The environment considerations, this is a developed lot. The improvements proposed will alter the impervious surface, but standard protections are proposed such as fill fencing. The situation came to the town's attention via submission of plans. Various state agencies and contractors were contacted for comments on the case, and none were received. The Board of Zoning Appeals has approved construction expanding the primary structure, but denied the shed as then proposed. Let me emphasize this because I've gotten a lot of questions about this. As then proposed. The applicants have made the shed smaller and pushed it further back. So it can be approved administratively if you all approve the action tonight. The comprehensive plan calls for medium density residential, and there is some comprehensive plan language regarding historic preservation, which you have written out there for you in the report. The analysis is as follows. The goals and objectives noted above do not appear advanced or hindered by this request. The property is not in physical proximity or even within view of any historically significant property in Urbanna. Thus, these additions will have no positive or negative impact on the structures. In addition, this property sits behind another structure and a fence, making it very difficult to see from any public roadway. For these reasons, this request was not submitted for review to any state agency engaged in historic preservation. Now, the next paragraph is sort of a recent, 1990s to more recent development history. But as I noted, if the Board of Historic and Architectural Review finds that the proposal is in accordance with the applicable guidelines, it can go forward. Now, as to those applicable guidelines, under J, the building site, one of the activities that is not recommended in the historic district is introducing new construction, which is visually incompatible. With this proposal being difficult to see, except for some immediate neighbors, this recommendation is really not applicable. Under B, wood, the guidelines speak to preserving wood as a preferred and reluctantly replacing wood, but these recommendations do not speak to new construction. Likewise, C, architectural materials, and D, roofs do not speak to new construction. There are some overarching guidelines. The final standard, there are 10 of those, and the final standard reads, wherever possible, new addition or alterations to structures shall be done in such a manner that such additions or alterations were to be removed in the future, the essential integrity of the structure would be unimpaired. Staff finds that with the relocation of the existing structure from another lot to the present lot and the change in use makes the standard difficult to apply. Standard 9 holds that the addition shall not be discouraged when those additions do not destroy significant historic, architectural, or cultural material, and such design is compatible with the size, scale, color, material, and character of the property, neighborhood, environment. As noted, the property is not in proximity to any historic significant property identified and is of itself not historic. Staff would offer that the finding of compliance with this situation largely hinges on finding that the addition to the existing building in the construction of the storage shed is compatible with the size, scale, color, material, and character of the property, neighborhood, environmental consideration of its limited visual impact. As the property is difficult to see, except for the immediately adjacent properties, no reason to deny or modify is offered. You also have a suggested motion. I'd be happy to take any questions you have at this time. Public file has been available, and the adjacent property owners have been notified. You have to take any questions.
Did you get any questions or comments from the adjacent property owner? Nothing?
Does anyone on the board have questions? I'd just like to hear what Chris Shelley has to say, okay? Mr. Rin, you want to?
Thank you, board, for being here tonight, and thank you, Mr. Costin, for your research and help with this application. I'm Chris Riddick, and my wife Crystal and I built the small cottage a few years ago. We received architectural review approval to build the cottage. It was a relocation of an existing shed from my neighbors right next door. We poured a lot of heart and soul into it, and we really enjoyed it. And we decided at some point last year that we liked being down here more than anywhere else. So we decided we wanted to move here permanently. I have roots here, but Crystal is kind of a newcomer, and so she's excited. Anyway, so in order to do that, we need to add on. It's only 350 square feet, and we need a proper bedroom and some closet space. So I came up with this design that's in front of you, which basically adds, I think, it's under 500 square feet. Yeah, but it's, you can see in the site plan, it's basically a wing to the west of the existing structure connected with the deck. And then the proposed shed, which is about 8 feet off of all of the property lines, and 40 feet off from the front setback. This shed is important to me because I want to set up a workshop and have a man cave.
Yeah, it's important to her too.
I was going to say, yeah. Yeah.
It's more important to me.
Yeah. And so I tried to design it in very much in keeping with the original structure and also the rest of the neighborhood. I included some details that I think do that and go well with the neighborhood. I'm matching all the materials to the existing cottage, including the clapboard siding, the trim color, and the standing seam metal roof on both structures.
On the shed and the addition.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the body of the house would be buxton blue, and the accents such as the doors would be a blue Danube, which is a darker blue. Brought the then the trim would be white. So we're hoping to get started on it in the fall, depending on prices and whatnot. But you know, an approval on this would help us a long way in getting our plans in action. So thank you. I'll answer any questions.
That's not, I have a question. I was on the board originally when we granted you permission to move that shed over there.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a cool deal. The color that's on it now, is that the same as you're gonna read, or is it a different shade?
It is, it's the same color.
Oh, okay. I rode in there on Monday.
Mhm.
First time I've been in there since we gave it approval. It's cute. I like it.
Thank you.
Very quaint. So, okay, that's all.
Okay.
Anyone else have questions?
I have no question.
I do have one.
Mhm.
It looks like from this page, is the shed going to be as tall as the addition, or is that just like how tall, how high is the shed going to be?
The shed is gonna be 12 feet to the peak. Those
To
are
the
just
peak.
elevations
Okay, I
of
thought
just
it
the
said
shed.
that. Okay,
So that's not showing the addition
okay.
in
Oh,
relation
that's
to
the
the
front
shed.
of the shed, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the top of the addition, I think it's gonna be right around 16 feet to the peak,
Okay.
so 4 feet high.
No, well, do you want to say anything?
The neighbors have no objection.
Yeah, and I guess not, I mean, no one's here, so,
Everything else meets criteria.
No one's here, no one's submitted anything right,
okay,
which
I
is what
didn't,
we rely on.
right,
I'm not going to relay
right,
person X call, person Y
right,
call. We go with what's written.
okay.
May I make a motion?
Yep, motion for. Yep. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay,
I move to approve application 2025.
Barbara, I have to interrupt you 1 second. I do have to add one other thing, before we vote, and that is, the understanding from both of you that if there are to be any, alterations in construction, anything that's different from what's on the plan, any adjustments that might be necessary, that they be brought before, I guess, the zoning administration first, and if necessary, CARB. And I think that's probably more a zoning thing, but I was just trying to say that, and now we can
She's
vote.
already told me I can't make it.
It's all inclusive.
It's all, okay, so now we can vote.
Madam Chair, okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry,
You need the full motion.
Yeah.
Then the second.
okay,
So I move to approve application 2025 certificate of appropriateness -01 as presented in all respects, those being location, building components, and color. I further move that at any point in construction, if any adjustment is necessary, that adjustment be brought forward for review, read there, in the zoning administrator, and if need be, the Board of Historic and Architectural Review before it is undertaken.
I second that motion.
so we go to a vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very excited.
Go forth and build.
If we can find a builder.
And Crystal, you're joining a lot of come here, so don't worry.
I'm excited.
There's a lot of us.
This town has warmed my heart and won me over, so I love it.
I think several of us have come here with that feeling.
Yeah.
So you're just the latest. So
I'm a newbie.
yeah, it's good that you chose it here.
Thank you.
It sort of
I'm excited.
gets a hold of you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Is this
yeah.
yours?
No.
That's
no.
ours? Okay.
My grandmother,
All right. Make sure.
was born in the Burton house,
Oh,
which is like right above.
here we are.
Yeah.
She was born in the Burton house?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
She was, apparently she was the first woman in Middlesex to have a
I
driver's
need a
license.
motion to respond.
No, we talked about this, but I do have one other matter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this was a good news, bad news situation.
Uh-oh.
So, the bad news is Mr. Reddick doesn't get to take advantage of this. The good news is, once in a while, you're successful with getting things through the General Assembly. We put in, because the historic piece is in the zoning ordinance, you have to run it like a zoning case, okay? Zoning cases require that if you have less than 500 parcels involved in, as like adjacents, you have to do certified mailings. Survey mailings cost $9.65 a piece. We got with Delegate Hodges, and we said this needs to be fixed. Now, if you have over 500, you can do first class, and the zoning administrator has to sign an affidavit. So, you know, my word, the word of any other zoning administrator, great over 500, but not acceptable under 5. So we got the state law changed so that now any notice given under zoning can be done by first class and affidavit. So that's going to save, you know, future applicants in the town some money, because in this matter, things started in the historic district. The initial fee of $100 has to then be covered, a subsequent billing, for the certified mailing. So, you know, we'll take care of that administratively, but that does, like all the other bills in the General Assembly, unless it's specifically enumerated, it starts July 1.
Okay.
So anything between now and July 1, we still do certified mailings on. Anything after July 1, we can get by with doing first class and affidavit. What y'all know that we had some success in the General Assembly.
That's great. So thank you.
And that's not just for us, that's for
everything.
statewide.
Yeah,
That's
that's right,
statewide.
yeah. Did you say I didn't. Okay, I'm hearing things.
Mhm.
Could we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
So moved. I second it.